Did you know that one of the most LGBTQ plus search terms on the internet is gay cities? Why do you think that is?
We think it's because queer people are searching for LGBTQ plus friendly places to travel to or even move to.
That's why we're doing this top 10 most affordable, emphasis on the affordable, LGBTQ plus friendly cities list for you.
This is Queer Money episode number 433, and today we're taking a break from our normal series, sharing affordable cities in each state, to list the top 10 most affordable LGBTQ plus friendly cities in the country that we've reviewed so far.
Let's go. The mission of Queer Money is to financially empower the LGBTQ plus community. Join us in thanking Capital One for supporting that mission.
So if you're like us, you click on every single top 10, top 25, whatever list for LGBTQ plus people to travel to or move to. And every time I click on those articles, there's a big wah wah.
Or yikes.
Because they're always the most unaffordable cities to travel to or move to. It's as if LGBTQ plus people don't have budgets. So that's why we're doing this top 10 most affordable gay cities list, because there aren't that many of these kinds of lists out there. So we've got a lot to cover today, a lot of numbers coming your way. This actually may be easier to watch on YouTube or to watch on YouTube after you listen to it on the podcast player. So David, let's dive into it. What is our number 10?
Sure. Number 10 is Akron, Ohio. Akron is a beautiful little city just south of Cleveland. Its rents go for $1,117 for your average two-bedroom, two-bathroom apartment, which is the third lowest on our list of 47 cities. We'll explain why 47 here in a bit. Home values come in at $193,000, also the third lowest of the 47 cities we've analyzed. Its cost of living, 87.5% of the national average, considerably lower. Median incomes come in at $53,000. Average incomes come in at $70,000. And some fun things about Akron: its Pride is at the end of August, so it's non-traditional so that more people can go to it. In 2009, Akron elected its first openly gay politicians, two of them, to local offices. And it was the runner-up city in our statewide analysis of Ohio that we covered on episode 413 of the podcast.
Coming in at number 9 is Alexandria, Virginia. Rents average $2,178 per apartment. Home values average $521,000 per property. Cost of living is on the higher side here at 140.3% of the national average. Median incomes come in at $80,000 per year, the highest of all the 47 cities that we reviewed for this particular list. Average incomes coming at $102,000 per year, the second highest of all the cities we reviewed on this list. Fun things about Alexandria, Virginia is that Pride is early June. It was June 3rd of this year. And the other thing about Alexandria is that it's so close to Washington, D.C. You kind of feel like you're in the big city. So you get the best of both worlds, right? It's a little bit more affordable, but you also get to hop into D.C. whenever you need to have a good time.
Yeah, exactly. Number 8 is our second city coming in from Virginia. That's Richmond. Rents there go for $1,549. Home values are at $332,000. Cost of living just under the national average at 96.1, which was the third lowest of all the 47 cities. Median incomes are at $55,000. Average incomes are at $76,000. Some fun things about Richmond is that its Pride is even later in the year. It's the end of September. It is September 23rd this year, again, allowing for more people to come to their Pride. It has a great website also for its residents called outrva.com, which is Out Richmond, Virginia, a great resource to find all sorts of things to do in Richmond if you're a queer person. It was the winner of our statewide analysis of Virginia back on episode 391 of the podcast. How are we making all these measurements? How do we come up with these cities, you may be asking yourselves? Well, one of the things we do is we start with the cities that are the most LGBTQ friendly. And how we find that is through the HRC Municipal Equality Index. So all of the cities, the 47 that we have looked at so far, are ones that scored a 100 on HRC's Municipal Equality Index. That's part of the reason why we have 47 cities, but we'll explain a little bit more here in just a few minutes. Some of the other measurements that we're using: for rent, we're looking at Zillow's rent index. For House values, we're looking at Zillow's House Values Index. For median and income averages, we're looking for at the U.S. Census. And then when it comes to cost of living, we're looking at bestplaces.net, which does an amazing analysis looking at the cost of living, which includes housing, services, things like groceries, the things that we purchase on a regular basis. They do an amazing look at cities and towns all across the country. One of the things you're going to find on our list here is that none of these cities are necessarily going to be the best in class for each of these particular categories. Most of them are somewhere near the middle of them, but that is what pushed them to the top of our list, unless we call them out. We've actually called out a few exceptions so far, and we have a few more.
So coming in number 7 is Racine, Wisconsin. Rents average $932 per month. That is the lowest of all the 47 cities that we reviewed for this particular list. Home values average $229,000 per property. Cost of living is 80.4% of the national average. Median incomes are $51,000 per year. Average are $69,000 per year. Some fun things about Racine. Pride is the end of June, typical for most prides around the country. And in 2021, get this, a gay couple was told by its HOA that they had to take down their pride flag. So they obliged and they took that pride flag down. But then they illuminated the house with a rainbow display of lights all over it, making all the neighbors super happy.
Take that, HOA.
Exactly. And then finally, Racine, Wisconsin was the winning city of our statewide analysis for Wisconsin on episode 385.
Moving on to number 6, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, one of the largest cities on the list. Rents here come in at $1,773. Home values are $322,000. The cost of living slightly above the national average at 107.4%. Median income $64,000 and average income $85,000. Some fun things about Philadelphia. It does its Pride also early in June, so it's non-traditional. But Philadelphia was the first city in the United States to launch a major marketing campaign to welcome LGBTQ tourists. That campaign was called Get Your History Straight and Your Nightlife Gay.
And rents came in at 1773. It would have been really, really sweet if they came in at 1776.
Oh, sorry.
Well, you can't make it up.
Yep.
So coming in at number 5 is the other side of Pennsylvania is Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Rents average $1,333 per apartment. Home values come in at $193 per property. Cost of living, what's that?
$193,000 per property.
Oh, that's right. Cost of living is 94.7% of the national average. Median incomes are $57,000 per year. Average is $76,000 per year. Some fun things about Pittsburgh. Pride is early June, June 1st through June 4th this year. And it made the top 10 best cities for LGBTQ plus home buyers on Realtor.com's list for 2021. So that's pretty cool. And then finally, Pittsburgh was the winning city in our statewide analysis for Pennsylvania on episode 407 of the Queer Money Podcast. So you might be asking, where are all these cities coming from? We're not covering California, cities in California, cities in Florida. What gives here? Well, we're just covering 25 states that we've reviewed so far. And we are working backwards for those of you who haven't been watching or paying attention, and shame on you. So we started our list at Wyoming. We've already gone through Montana. So we're giving you the top 10 of that list so far. We're going to review the next 25 states starting next week. And then in 26 weeks, we'll do another top 10 analysis for you.
Moving on to our list, number 4 is Cincinnati, Ohio. Rents here come in at $1,463, home values at $251,000, and cost of living is 91.5% of the national average. Median incomes are $57,000. Average income is $75,000. Some fun things about Cincinnati. Its Pride traditional comes in usually the last weekend in June. This past year, it was June 24th. It is also the home of civil rights activist Jim Obergefell, who helped spearhead marriage equality in the country. Tired of all the credit card offers you get from your current credit scoring app? Download CreditWise by Capital One today to avoid them.
Thank you very much. Coming in, we're at our top 3 already. Number 3 is Rochester, New York, making its only showing for the state of New York. Rents come in at $1,366 per month. Home values come in at $212,000 per property. Cost of living is 79.1% of the national average. This is the second highest on our list. second lowest on our list. Median incomes come at $55,000 per year. Average incomes come in at $72,000 per year. Some things that are amazing about Rochester: Pride is mid-July and was July 6th through 8th this year, which is interesting. It's also where the Susan B. Anthony's home is located. It's registered as a National Historic Landmark. It still stands today and is open to the public for viewing. Finally, Rochester was the winning city in our statewide analysis for New York State in Queer Money episode number 419.
Number 2, and our third city from Ohio. There's something going on in Ohio. It's pretty cheap. Cleveland. Cleveland's rents come in at $1,321. Its home values at $202,000. Here's the kicker. Its cost of living, 77.2% of the national average.
Whoa.
It was the lowest of all the cities that we've looked at so far, and one of the reasons why it came in at number 2. Median incomes, $53,000. Average incomes, $71,000. Some fun things about Cleveland. Cleveland's Pride is the first weekend in June. Cleveland was the host of the Gay Games back in 2014.
Nice.
So clearly the city itself is very welcoming to queer people. And it was the winner of our statewide analysis of Ohio that we covered on episode 413 of the podcast. For the results of all these winning cities that we look at in every single state, you can go to queermoneypodcast.com/cities or click on the link in your podcast player and you can download the information about each state.
It's also in the YouTube description if you're watching on YouTube. All right. Number 1, the winning city.
Dun, da, da, da.
It's not just the home of Laverne and Shirley. It is the gayest, most affordable LGBTQ plus friendly city to move to. Milwaukee, Wisconsin. It's a second showing for Wisconsin. Rents come in at $1,193 per 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom property. Home values average $288,000 per property. Cost of living comes in at 84.7% of the national average. Median incomes come in at $57,000 per year. Average incomes come in at $76,000 per year. Some fun things about Milwaukee. Pride is early June. It was June 1st through 3rd this year, and it was listed on the top 10 under the gaydar cities in the country in 2017 by Trivago.
So congratulations to all of our top winners so far. Remember, we have 25 more states to go, so look forward to another list from us like this in 26 weeks. And of all the episodes mentioned, we will link here in the podcast show notes or in the YouTube description so you can listen to those episodes. Thanks, and we'll see you later.
Financial independence with a checking and savings account that doesn't nickel and dime you with fees. Get a Capital One 360 checking or 360 performance savings account at Capital One today. On next Thursday's Queer Money bonus episode, we're covering the most affordable LGBTQ plus friendly city in the state of Missouri.
And if you'd like to see the results of all the cities in each state that we are analyzing, go to queermoneypodcast.com/cities or click the link in your podcast player for a growing analysis. Thanks and have an amazing week.